This video is brought to you by America First Insight. Help support the growing conservative movement by becoming a member today. And if you want to support this channel, you can also use the code REAL when becoming a member. Thank you and enjoy the video. Well, we have some breaking news out of the state of Minnesota as a little while ago, Border Czar Tom Homan at a press conference, and he announced that the administration will withdraw 700 immigration agents from Minnesota. Yes, this is real. Tom Homan confirmed that sometime today, 700 agents will withdraw from Minnesota. And of course, everybody ran with the headline, not what Tom Homan actually said, the full context what he said. They're not mentioning that. People are just talking about the headline because it sounds terrible for Trump. Like, oh my goodness, they're backing down. Tim Walz won. Jacob Fry, that crew, they beat Trump. Trump's backing down. He's a taco, whatever you want to call it. And it's not just a select few people. There's a bunch of people like Rich Bears running around. And I know we've had some major issues with Bears recently, but look at this nonsense. They removed 700 agents from Minnesota instead of just making the common sense and modest changes that would have allowed them to continue with the same activities. And basically, he goes on to say that it's all over for the Trump admin. Violence is guaranteed. It's all over, blah, blah, blah. Just the same crap we've been hearing for months now. And I should be clear about this. When the Trump admin does something bad and stupid, you should call it out. Like, that's just common sense. We want the administration to be as good as possible. But this whole discourse surrounding Minnesota, it is getting dumber by the second. Because all people are doing are looking at the headlines, taking Tom Homan out of context, and calling it a day and saying, well, the administration gave up on deportations, it's over, and that's why they're pulling back 700 agents. There is some context missing. I can't believe I have to say that, but there's more to the story than just, oh, it's all over, Trump bent the knee, whatever. The Trump administration will withdraw 700 federal immigration agents from Minnesota, Border Czar Tom Homan said Wednesday. And already, this is what caused people to panic, that we're withdrawing troops or agents from Minnesota, and people are making it sound like it's because we bent the knee, we gave up. It's like, Tim Walz is too scary. Oh my goodness, we're terrified of Tim Walz and Jacob Fry. That's why we're ending the operation. And listen, it is true that they are, in fact, slowly withdrawing some agents. And Homan does say here, my goal with the support of President Trump is to achieve a complete drawdown and end the surge as soon as we can. Homan said the news conference, and that's all people looked at. They looked at the 700 agents leaving Minnesota in that one quote and called it a day. No other context, just Trump gave up, that's all. No, there is way more to the story. For starters, we still have 2,000 agents in Minnesota. People are just making it sound like we pulled out everybody. And I believe, yeah, NBC admitted that we had over 3,000 agents in Minneapolis. Do the math. If we pulled back 700, do you think that equals 3,000? How does that make any sense? There's still thousands of agents in Minneapolis. So that whole narrative we fully pulled back, it's all over, that is insane. That's wrong. That's incorrect. It's just a lie. It's not just incorrect. People are just lying about this. We still have over 2,000 agents in Minneapolis. So no, we're not fully pulling back. And I know Tom Homan said, like, hey, eventually we're going to stop the operation. Eventually we're going to end the operation in Minneapolis. That does not mean they're stopping the deportations. It just means at some point they reach their main goal for Operation Metro Surge, and they're going to pull back a big chunk of the agents out of the region. But not now. They're going to keep the agents there until they get what they want from local and state officials and they reach their target. So they still have 2,000 agents in the city. Just those extra 1,000, they had to come in because the riots, the agitators, local law enforcement weren't doing their job. It was insane. They were there as support. It's been clear that's the whole point of those extra 1,000 agents. And now local law enforcement is finally doing something. And that's the big reason they pulled back 700 agents. Not because we're slowing things down, it's because now it's a lot easier. And Homan said right here that the drawdown is partly a result of cooperation between Minnesota County jails and federal and immigration officials, making it easier for immigration authorities to apprehend targets. And Homan asked for such cooperation from state and local authorities over the last week. So what's going on is now you have local law enforcement doing their job. They're actually dealing with the agitators, the rioters. They're going after them now, which that's a big issue sorted out right away. But also, these county jails are finally starting to work with ICE, making it easier to apprehend these people in the jails. That's what's going on. And that's what nobody's mentioning. Because guess what? And Tom Homan's explained this 1,000 times. It takes like 12 agents or whatever. It's like 12 or 10 agents to conduct the raid. Because you need people to arrest the target. You need support. You got to deal with the agitators, blah, blah, blah. It's even more in Minneapolis because the rioters and stuff. But you get the point that it takes like 10 or 12 agents for one single raid, for one individual. But you go to these county jails and there's a bunch of them there. And it's like, wait, why are these county jails just letting these people off scot-free? It's crazy. But there's a bunch of them in these jails that it takes one, maybe two agents to go get. Do the math. You only need one or two agents to get the same target instead of having to do a raid where it takes like 12 people. Wow. Gee, I wonder why they're pulling back a little bit. Guys, they're pulling back because local law enforcement is bending the knee. Tim Walz is bending the knee. Jacob Frey, they're allowing local law enforcement to do their job. And now they're making agreements with these county jails. Now, we don't know which county jails are agreeing to this. Maybe it's, we don't know if it's like Minneapolis or whatever, or St. Paul. But still, the fact that some of these county jails are finally working with ICE and local law enforcement doing their job, yeah, that's good. We don't need that many agents in Minneapolis if they keep up the deal. That's what Homan's made clear. We will continue to slowly withdraw when we finish our operation, and when the city and the state as a whole continue to cooperate with federal immigration officials. Guys, that's not Trump or Homan bending the knee. That's actually Minnesota bending the knee, because it's making it a lot easier for the agents to deport people, to apprehend people. All they have to do now, not for every one of them, but for a good chunk of them, they just got to go to a county jail and apprehend them, and that's it. One or two agents, it's done. That's going to increase efficiency, make it a lot easier, and we still got 2,000 agents in the city. So we're not backing down. And Homan's made clear, by the way, it's not just the violent criminals. That is the one thing that people keep misquoting. They keep claiming that Homan and Trump are saying they only are going after the criminal ones, the violent ones. No, it is true that their main focus are the violent ones, but they're not ignoring the non-violent ones. I mean, just common sense, because who would you rather apprehend? The illegal immigrant that's like 90 years old, that's been here for 60 years or whatever, but has no track record of doing anything violent, nothing like that? Or would you go after the murderer? Gee, I wonder who they're going to target first. It's just common sense. That's what the Trump admin are doing. They're trying to focus on the violent ones because they pose a much more significant risk to society than the other ones. That's what they're saying. But no, if they find an illegal immigrant, you're gone. You're gone. There's a lot of them that they have detained that have no track record or not violent, but they still deported them. They're just targeting the really bad ones. Target the really bad ones right away because they pose an actual threat to Americans. And he said right here, if you're in the country illegally, you're not off the table, Homan said. Let me be clear. President Trump fully intends to achieve mass deportations during this administration. and immigration enforcement actions will continue every day throughout this country. Man, this sounds like they're just going to stop deporting people. So they still have 2,000 agents in the city. They have local law enforcement doing their job. They have the county jails actually cooperating even a little bit. They're going to apprehend people much easier. This sounds like they're bending the knee. Seriously. And DHS has said right now, as of now, I should say, they have arrested 3,000 illegal immigrants since the operation began. That is like 1,500 per month. Yeah. And that's without the county jails working with ICE. Now, do you understand why they're slowly withdrawing agents a little bit? They don't need them now. It's still mostly Border Patrol agents they're pulling back. They're not even supposed to be Minneapolis. They're Border Patrol. Gee, I wonder where their job is. So yeah, that's what's going on here. They're pulling back agents, mostly Border Patrol. They still got 2,000 there. And by the way, even when the operation ends, they're going to have ICE agents in the city. Just they're focused on the very violent ones. They're trying to make a big dent in the illegal immigrant population in Minneapolis. And they're going to eventually pull back at some point, just common sense, and go into Ohio or Illinois. And Homan even said that there were roughly 150 federal immigration authorities in the city before the operation began. So there's going to be a couple hundred in the area, not 2,000. It's like it's not going to be as many people getting deported every day, but still, they're just focused on Minneapolis right now. But eventually, they're going to pull back when local law enforcement continues to cooperate. They reach their goal. They've arrested 3,000 undocumented immigrants already. Like, that's crazy. They're going to eventually pull back, though, but they're still going to have operations in the city, just scaled way back, because they got their main goal done out of Minneapolis. 3,000 in 2 months. That's quite a bit. Considering Minnesota, compared to other states, shouldn't have that many illegal immigrants, especially compared to like California. We're getting 1,500 a month. That is nuts. But again, we shall see what happens. But guys, don't listen to this crap going around claiming that Trump bent the knee and Tom Homan, he gave up and blah, blah, blah. Like, no. Like, that's not what's going on here. Just, you got to read and hear what Tom Homan, what they're saying. Because it's clear they got what they wanted. And they still have the original 2,000 agents. So, why are people panicking about this? They got what they wanted. And now it's going to be even easier to arrest people with local law enforcement doing something. Just on paper, yeah, we pulled back some agents. We already arrested 3,000. We're already beginning to reach our goal slowly but surely. We're still going to have a bunch in the city. And now we don't have to worry about law enforcement doing nothing. They're actually working with us, trying to stop the insanity, deal with the rioters, deal with the agitators. That's good. But we're going to see how this goes, because maybe Trump does bend the knee. I don't know. But right now, he's not. Right now, he's still keeping the operation going. And in fact, he's gotten what he wanted. And it's going to make it much easier to deport people out of Minneapolis. Anyways, folks, thank you so much for watching. If you guys did enjoy, smash the like button down below, subscribe, share with your friends, and of course, join the channel today. Godspeed to all of you.